Yeah, no, it's just hasn't been working out. I mean, it's just not working. It's just not fun anymore. It's just you and I. It's just there's a million better things that we could be doing, that I could be doing. It's it's like it's not you. It's not me either. But what do I say?
Alex, are you ready? Let's get going. You have work in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Just give me a second.
We may have located the USS Britain.
Britain.
Magnify. That's the Britain, all right.
Ooh,
Nice.
look at that.
There is life on board, but
What is it?
I don't know.
I like the score already.
Ominous, scary. I like it.
Dr. Crusher, report to Transporter Room 3, Wharf. Data.
And you're taking the best three. Look at this shot.
Nice. They're all going to be frozen. I love this shot.
Who directed this?
Yeah. Tell me now. I don't want to wait till after the credits.
Oh!
What the hell?
Here's another one.
Oh!
More over here.
Why do they all look like they died in different ways?
The entire bridge crew.
Whoever did this could still be on the ship.
Is it Reavers?
Here. I think he's Betazoid.
Oh. That guy looks familiar.
He does.
Did this? Who did this to you?
Damn it.
Talk about a hook, man. That was a damn hook.
It was. Quick to the point, establishing like all the different camera work, music. Immediately pulling me in.
I also love I don't know if it looked like it was the captain, but I'm not sure about the one who was stabbed in the chest, just like the blood stain in the suit.
Oh, yeah.
Surprised they got away with that.
Night terrors. Ooh!
The dead were found all over the ship.
That's a name right there.
We've identified him as Andrus Hagen from Betazoid, scientific advisor.
Woo!
Next state.
All right.
For Peter. Remember graduating high school? They'd say someone's name. Please hold your cheers to the end. And they cheer. And the person after that, dead silent. It's like,
Or when the one family cheers for so long that you don't even hear the next kid.
oh, God.
You want to know something crazy? There are people that think our content is so good that they pay us money for the full year up front. That's amazing. So we're going to thank those people, because without them, well, I guess things would be mostly the same. But Michael Provost, Topo Musical, Stephen Linden, Chris M, and Lee. Thank you all so much. Truly, sarcasm aside, this is what makes the channel possible, and we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you for support. There's also an 80% sale going on the Patreon right now.
Teleplay by
He's
Jerry.
the only man left who knows what happened there.
West London.
I'm here.
Oh, all right.
I'm right here.
Because he's a Betazoid.
He's crying.
Both things. No. No.
I like that because he's a Betazoid, so they can communicate like that. That's good.
God, look at all this. I love this.
All the engines check out perfectly, Commander.
That's great, Jordy. Sorry.
What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I don't understand it.
There was no outside source, no alien presence. All 34 of them appear to have killed each other.
Whoa, each other?
They seem to turn against each other, using phasers and knives and bare hands.
Bare hands?
They got to the engines. The ship is out of brink. And his men.
Why are you smiling, Beverly?
Yeah, she seemed to enjoy that almost. This is awesome.
You ever see Spy Kids?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what is happening?
It's a scene from Dr. Sleep.
Bro, what was that?
Dude, I think it's the flower headboards. Ever since they got those.
Yeah, nothing good has come from that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try recalibrating the field
Who's this
generators.
child?
Someone's still here.
What did you say, Ensign?
Can't you hear it? Someone's still alive on the ship.
There's nobody left on board.
Sorry, sir, my mistake.
34 people found dead on this ship. That's enough to make anybody uneasy.
Actually, sir, no one told me about that, but that is kind of creepy.
That is horrible.
Thank you, sir.
He was oddly good.
Yeah. That's probably why I got that scene.
Bright out there.
I don't understand.
The black eyes. Glad they keep up with that. Hey!
Damn.
Boy, what a day this was.
Is that her uniform or her civilian clothes? I don't know what her uniform looks like.
But I don't have time to oversee another project.
Was Tom Corbin there?
Oh no.
Use any excuse you can to pay him a visit.
Miles, what are you saying?
I think you know exactly what I'm saying.
The honeymoon is over.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were jealous.
You take me for a fool.
No. It's gotta be whatever virus is on this ship.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's most likely whatever this is infecting the ship, but
Yeah.
or he's just a dick. Like, has nothing to do with it.
Usually newlyweds can't keep their hands off each other.
She has work to do. She heads up the plant biology lab, you know?
Any strange things going on down there?
Like what?
Just pissed off at everything.
A man in an old Starfleet uniform riding the lift near the engine core.
Ghost stories.
There's more. There's lots more.
I have more things to worry about than shades and spirits.
He just sat there, sat down, and left.
Didn't get a drink.
I was hoping that he would have a scene with
Guinan?
Come!
Yes. So yeah, just everyone's going stir crazy. Cabin fever. Oh, please tell me it chimes as soon as he sits down. Oh, even before.
Gotta get maintenance to look at it. Ooh.
Come. What?
We're afraid whatever happened on the Britannia may be starting here. We have to get the Enterprise away from here before it gets any worse.
I love these ominous shots.
I love that they're involving everyone, too, like the lower level people.
Yeah, giving everyone a little chance to shine here. Everyone except Worf.
I'm not affected.
We have no functional propulsion systems.
No, sir. Apparently we do not.
They're adrift.
Just like the Britannia.
And what, it took the Britannia, like, what, 3 weeks to go crazy? Or they were stuck out there for 3 weeks?
I think so.
Who knows how long they were dead?
Has now been adrift for a total of 10 days.
10 days?
There you go. It's been 10 days. They love doing that.
Just like that.
I conclude that we've become trapped in a massive rupture in space, into which energy is absorbed.
You mean a Tychon's rift?
The ship's energy is being drained into the fissure before we can utilize it.
I was detained.
What?
A massive energy release might overload and dislocate the anomaly.
Blow up the Britannia.
In Tychon's experience, did the crew exhibit behavioral changes?
No.
What about nightmares?
There are no records of sleep disturbances, counselor.
I'm still stuck on Worf was detained. Who detained you? Or do you just mean you were caught up with something?
And I love it that we don't know.
Any hallucinations? Nightmares? No. I'd be a liar if I said I felt like myself.
Look at his heavy eyes.
Deck 8.
Where was it going before he said that? Just in constant motion?
Just waiting for them to tell it where to go.
Oh no. Season 1 Picard. He's back!
That's his nightmare.
Headache. Tired. Willy Wonka, no! But those damn flowers. Ah!
Yeah, no thank you. They must have had a traveling flower salesman come by a few months ago and they sold them on it. Put these above your bed.
Perhaps the modifications used to increase firepower against the Borg would be effective here.
Borg mention?
When I was young, I remember watching my grandfather deteriorate from a powerful, intelligent figure to a frail wisp of a man. I will need to rely on you from now on. We may need to count on you for our very survival.
I will do my best, sir.
Now, it'd be wild if it found a way to affect Data. If this thing, whatever's going on, was omniscient, or not omniscient, but self-aware.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're gonna have some crazy crypt nightmares happening in here. Not crypt, morgue, that's what they call it.
Haunting a Hill House. Sits up.
Oh, yeah.
Go away.
Oh, I was hoping they'd all...
They all sit up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she runs out of the room. Nah, Crusher's too strong. She's like, you're not real. Clown! Clown!
I was getting some heavy It vibes from this, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you even had a dream in the last 10 days?
Oh, she looks manic.
I'm willing to bet you haven't. What's more, neither has anyone else on board this ship.
So the nightmares come to life.
Humans enter into what is known as REM sleep, rapid eye movement.
We have to dream in order to survive.
Yeah, and you're not really sleeping.
There is an inevitable conclusion to this pattern, and if I can't find a way to stop, we will all go insane.
Man, kind of almost like a Nightmare on Elm Street vibe to it as well, you know, where it's like, you have to sleep. Except in their case, they literally can't choose. It's like they can't sleep for whatever reason. Except for her.
Yeah.
Where are you?
It's not that bad of a nightmare.
No, just...
More just a dream. Maybe it makes her feel dread.
Double. Double.
Is something doubled?
He's asking for a double meat at Chipotle.
Actual double, not 1.5, you skimpy bastards.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, no one can reach REM sleep. No one can dream, except for you.
Starts choking her. Except you.
You heard about them on the Britannia, shut in their rooms, dying alone. That's not for me. I'd rather go out fighting.
And this brings up the whole mutiny thing that was brought up on the Britannia.
Yeah, and then turning against each other.
Power has been channeled to the
main deflector dish.
Yes, right.
This is all basically me on a Monday at the office.
This is me every day of my life.
Maybe that's your problem. You can't reach REM sleep.
Oh, please. Oh, God.
Oh, man, look at those little hand blades up there.
Yeah, yeah. I remember, where's the long one that he used to...
The batleth?
Yeah, they killed Duras with.
Wolf, no!
You must stop me.
It's like Klingon seppuku.
I am no longer a warrior. I am no longer strong. I feel fear. I am not strong enough to fight it.
It's just an illusion.
Hasn't Worf said that before? Like, fear is what, you know.
Mm-hmm. Only fools have no fear.
Right, yeah.
Let me take you to sick bay.
Can't believe dude was just gonna sacrifice himself.
I enjoyed that scene, but I would have liked to see a little, similar to Spock breaking down, or when Picard broke down through Sarek, if he started, like, mourning, you know, Kalar.
It all comes back.
Eyes in the dark.
That's what the voice said in my dream. It's not a dream at all. It's a message.
All right, Troy, calm down.
Go back. Further back. There, stop.
This is a hydrogen atom.
One moon circles. That's what they've been telling me over and over.
Hydrogen bomb?
Then the proper course of action would be to release hydrogen into the rift and hope they have a substance that would detonate it. The only message you should attempt to convey is now.
What a bold hypothesis.
Yeah, well, it would be kind of weird of them to, if that's what they already have, like a weird message when you need help. We have hydrogen!
Great!
Yeah.
But the fact that, you know, just scrolling through all those elements, and he's going pretty fast, too, that she was able to go, wait.
Yeah, she hit him with the, stop!
We want to die here? Like helpless children?
Sit down, Gillespie. You're not helping matters any.
What's wrong with standing up for ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are these two gonna do? Oh, no! Oh. Come on, Chief.
There you go.
You gonna take that?
Oh, what the fuck is that? Guidon is strapped! That was quite possibly the worst special effect of the show.
That was really bad, yeah.
That was setting number 1. Anyone want to see setting number 2?
Honestly, yeah, because that was...
That's not very impressive. Cool gun design, though.
Like the most obvious in-post added effect ever. Like you couldn't set up a sparkler on the ceiling?
They do the freaking sparks all the time. It's like you couldn't just... whatever.
You know what? I'm changing my grade.
Just because of that.
A little rapid eye movement.
Where are you? I have to find you!
Now.
I like that she looks tired even in her dream. Oh, shit!
Is it Abe Lincoln?
No explosion.
Counselor was unsuccessful.
No, she wasn't.
Activate impulse engines.
Engines activated, sir.
The explosion woke up Picard.
As my final duty as acting captain, I order you to bed.
Ha! Yeah, the whole ship.
Thank you.
Pleasant dreams, sir.
Oh, Data, you cheeky bastard, with the pleasant dreams. Interesting how we didn't see, like, Troy, like we saw the thing with, like, it turning into a figure, and then that was it. I guess that's all we needed to see, but...
That's all you needed to see. Son of a... We rate every episode.
All right, let's go about it.
Goodbye.
Let's talk about it.
The darkest of nightmares haunt the Enterprise.
Captain, some people experience hallucinations.
The crew's tormented by a fear of the unknown.
Something is waiting for us.
And they must fight against a horrifying destiny.
We will all go insane.
No!
We may need to count on you for our very survival.
Night Terrors on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
That's what I was going to do. And then I saw this episode. And now I want to live again.
Wait, why were you going to do that before?
I'm pretending I'm holding it. Yeah. The joke is, oh, why were you going to do that, Alex? I don't know. But then I saw this episode and all that went away.
You're reading too many comments.
From A to Z, this episode was just an S on all fronts. I mean, I kind of knew, like 20 minutes in, I'm like, yeah. Yeah. And even taking out all the horror elements, the score, the cinematography, having Chief in there, having Guinan in there, having red shirts with like great scenes, even if it's just one scene, like the one dude with Geordi, like that scene, just like that slow, ominous build to like what's going on, and keeping with the message and flow of Star Trek. It's something science fiction. You know, it's. I mean, I gotta say, really quick before we go into deeper details, I just gotta say, like what are the odds? You know what I mean? Like, oh, they want hydrogen, like 1 in a million chance. Like, oh, Data's just looking through compounds, and like, just really quick, Troy just sees 2 moons, circle, hydrogen. It's like if it was you and I there,
oh, done,
dead.
And that's what I actually find hilarious too on the first ship, the Britannia. You know, the idea that this is all being caused because this being is trying to communicate, and it's using this frequency that Betazoids can use to communicate, but it's interrupting everybody's REM sleep. So basically, in a way, that creature is responsible for what happened to the Britannia, and just all those people died. It's just ironic that's like, I'm reaching out for help. It just kills this whole ship. Oh man.
Yeah, but it's so believable though, because this alien species doesn't know what works for hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just trying to get out of there, and they're just using, and we don't know nothing about this species. Maybe that's the only way they could. And you think like, oh, why couldn't the guy just say hydrogen or something? Well, that guy's mind is already lost. I mean, he's still losing his mind. He's able to REM, but his mind's completely gone from everything that's happened.
Why do we love this episode? What about it is that we love? It's for me, it's a mix of everything that really tickles our fancy. There's obviously the horror elements. There's the score. There's the idea of it that's scary. The idea of not being able to reach REM sleep and the lack of sleep making you slowly go crazy. And then on top of that, everyone's performances, from our main crew to these, ensigns like you talked about, the one with Geordi, the one in 10 Forward who's trying to rally everybody up, the one in the bridge next to Data who starts getting the headache, giving these guys some chances. I love to see that, but also giving our main crew, Guinan has a couple scenes, the Chief, Worf, so really spread the love on this one. And it wasn't really a focus on one character type of episode.
No, it went from like Picard, it went through to Riker, and then it became like a Troy episode, and then for a second it was like a Beverly episode. Like, I need to figure this out. I think it was probably the best balance of everybody.
Yeah, Data strong at the end when everyone's gone crazy.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. As last act of Captain, I'm sending you to bed. It's like, oh, it's great. Pleasant dreams. Door shuts, and so good. And you know me, when it comes to score, it's one of the last things I mention because I don't know because I'm using the left earbud. Is it the right ear that connects the music? I'm also not very musically inclined. I don't know how it works, but just a great example of how score can change a scene and how effective it was is when Riker first goes to his quarters. When he's in the elevator with Picard and he's saying, "Every time I go to my quarters, I feel like something or someone's waiting for me." And he goes to his quarters, and he just walks in, just that slow swelling of the music. And he goes to walk towards, I think, the bathroom. Looks back, music's still swelling. Walks a little bit farther. Looks back again, looks disheveled. And I'm thinking, replace that with sitcom music, and it's like that could be a very comedic scene. But with the music was so effective, where I was like, what's he gonna see? What is he seeing? Is he gonna see anything? Just the whole scarier what you don't see, and that was the most effective, I think, of horror.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole mystery of the whole episode. We find out towards the end what's going on, but it doesn't tell you right away. It lets you sit in it. Even once Beverly and Troy are explaining what's going on, you still don't know what's going to happen next. When you're put in a scenario like this where it has to do with dreams and nightmares and things like that, you don't know what's going to happen. It's not as if it's, a monster on the ship or an evil guy on the ship, where you know what they're afraid of. It could be anything. It has kind of that, It feel to it. Stephen King's It, which is, a personal favorite of ours too.
Yes.
My favorite scene has to be Beverly in the morgue and the body sitting up. I mean, that is gotta be the most horror scene in Star Trek thus far.
Yeah, that was great. Perfectly done, and we've never seen that morgue room as far as I can tell. Can you imagine if someone accidentally slips into the holodeck during this and have a holodeck REM reduced nightmare fact? Oh my God, that'd be amazing. But yeah, that morgue scene was definitely the most effective and simple too. Just no jump scare really. They're all just standing up, and then Beverly, through her sure grit and determination, similar to it. It's like, it's not there, go away, goes away.
Absolutely. And I also got to give an honorable mention, too, to another scene, because the Beverly scene is like my personal, with the dead bodies. They were dead, right? Yeah, from the Brittain.
Yeah,
Like the dead bodies sitting up and everything. Like, that's awesome. But as far as just overall acting, that Worf scene, and then when Troy comes in and them talking, and he's about to kill himself. I was like, oh my God. And then just their conversation, she's like, let me take you to sick bay, them holding hands at the end. A great counselor moment,
Yeah, and Worf to have that vulnerability. One, he's mentioned before, like, oh, fear is for those who do not fear, or whatever. You said it better than I did. And then I guess this is like an overwhelming amount of fear that he's never experienced. So he's like, he's obviously a very well-trained Starfleet officer, Klingon warrior, all of that. And like, one, he's been stripped of the Klingon warrior title, and now he feels all this fear. As I love that scene, we'll get to the rewriting part, and for him to want to do that. And I also want to know why was he detained earlier? What did he do? Never really answered. Do you think he just had another panic attack maybe, and then that's why he was late?
Yeah, I loved just the little crumb, like you said while we were watching. It's like, you're glad you don't know. It's like, it's just a little detail, like, oh, he was late for some reason. Like, that's all you need to know.
And I love to know why, but I love that they didn't tell me, because it's sparking this conversation right now.
Yeah. And in that scene with him and Troy, going back to season 1, he says, yeah, only fools have no fear. I think it's the combination for him in this moment of not only, you can have a fear, but he believes in himself, like in a normal situation. But in this situation, he says, something's waiting for us. I'm not going to be able to protect the ship. But it was that he was afraid of, and the fact that he's no longer this warrior, no longer believes in himself, is kind of his biggest fear, and that's why he's ready to take himself out. Very effective.
But he was also strong enough to kind of come back from it through Counselor Troy, and to show vulnerability, holding your hand walking to sickbay. I think that's because the last time we saw Worf in sickbay, with his wrist, like, oh, it's, I don't want to be here. I think kind of some growth there for him. I love it. We got to talk about just the exterior shots of the Enterprise and the Brittain, never seen before. I mean, the Brittain obviously, but even the Enterprise coming to and from commercial, the different shots going up the ship, around the ship. I'm like, did Les specifically request, I want all brand new shots of the ship? You know what I mean? They were all brand new.
It's hard to know. Yeah, it's hard to know, is it all this remaster? I don't know. There's no way to know, I guess, unless we went back and watched the original. But assuming that it's all the same shots, just with redone effects, it definitely sets the mood. It being a little bit different than your typical shots, it sets that eerie mood.
That something's not right. Something's off. Yeah. What else? Oh, also, Brittain Bridge, incredible. I love that dark, moody lighting. The bodies. Each one grotesquely disfigured or murdered in a unique way, and you're wondering who did this. And you find out it was all themselves, and the Betazoid hiding in the closet.
Yeah, when they first go on, you mentioned the hook a little bit, but yeah, probably off the top of my head, top 5 for sure. I'd have to think about it a little bit more, but as far as a hook and an opening scene, I mean, it got right to the point, wasn't a lot of wasted time, and it was so what the hell. But not in a what the hell in a random this ends up not mattering way, which we've seen before, where it's what the hell is this? And then the episode has nothing to do with it. It was the main point of the episode, and you go on, you see the captain stabbed in the chest, bloody uniform. The fact that they all seemingly died in different ways was great. And then the way that they reveal it's because they all turned on each other. You ever seen the movie Mayhem with Samara Weaving and Stephen Young?
No.
It's not the best movie in the world. I think it's a 90-minute Shudder original, I think, from a few years ago. I watched it on Shudder. It was just a nice little movie.
You say Stephen Young?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that was the poster movie. Every time I open up Shudder, that movie was
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Basically, the plot of that is where there's this virus that gets out in this office building, and it just makes everyone kill either you just give in to your instincts, so you either kill each other or a lot of them just start fucking each other. It's just all mayhem breaks out, so they quarantine this building and everyone's just killing each other. It's a decent movie, but that's what this opening hook reminded me of, and I thought we were going to get something we ultimately get just a little taste of in 10 Forward at the end of the episode, where Chief starts fighting Gillespie.
And Gillespie throws the first punch too. I'm like, you got some balls, bro. I mean, I get it. You're in a completely REM induced problem there. But
yeah,
still.
and I'll talk more about that in the rewrites. But I did love Guinan just pulling out the weapon from behind the bar.
I mean, one of the best reaction moments ever. Just a giant fucking golden eye.
Looked like a Halo gun.
Yeah. And then we'll get to, for the rewrite section. Sleepy Picard, it fits here.
What did you think of the Picard scene? Like, the most we see from him is when he's in the turbo lift by himself, and he's freaking out.
That was pretty good. The whole, the Willy Wonka bubble scene. It reminded me of that. And then he has that, that vulnerable moment, like, oh. But I think my favorite one is the one of him in his ready room. I love that room. Come. God damn it, he gets up. Doorbell still ringing. Walks away. Ding, ding. And then, we hear, a knock. And he's like, I wonder when was the last time he heard a knock?
Yeah, this is the first knock we've heard in the franchise.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck was that?
And then it was Beverly and Troy. It was like, why did they know to knock? It was just very odd.
Yeah, and it's like they didn't
in a good way.
They didn't even say any. It's left very vague. They didn't say anything. We've been ringing for an hour.
Yeah, or did they actually knock, or was that fake too?
Or did he surprisingly come to the door the exact moment they walked up to it? And it's never answered. I love that. It adds to the whole what is going on type feeling. Oh, just
okay. So how do we feel about the Troy and the green cloud?
Honestly, at first, it was very effective and creepy, and because I've never seen anything like that ever, and you're like, what the hell? Then after a bit, if we're just, especially from the back, just it's like, okay.
Yeah, but
it got a bit ridiculous.
I agree, and they probably went to it a bit too much, but in my opinion, there's, 2 times you can get away with stuff being goofy, and that's comedy. Obviously, if you're doing comedy, you're going to be goofy a lot of the time. And horror. I feel like horror can really get away with a lot of goofy shit as long as it's, not taking itself too seriously. And this episode does take itself seriously, for sure. But it's, it fits the mood. If this had been in most Star Trek episodes and then all of a sudden it cuts to Troy in the green cloud, I'd probably be, roasting it. But it fits the vibe of this specific episode.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is a horrible reference, considering I've never even seen the clip. I've just seen the image floating around. But you ever seen that image? Where it's Hulk Hogan, a smoky room. What is this place?
Oh, yeah.
There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
yeah. I don't even know what that's from, but yeah.
Neither do I, but I've seen it memed a million times. There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, so I thought it fit, and I loved it, and I loved how much screen time, she got as well as everyone else, and...
How about Keiko and Chief, the jealous, almost abusive husband. Oh, anything to go see that guy, huh? It's oh.
Yeah, that was ooh.
And then he storms to the bar, sits down. The other guy starts talking shit. Not to him, but we should... They're just telling us to go, sit down and die. Just sit in the rooms and die. And Chief sits at the bar, talks to him for a few minutes, and he leaves.
Yeah, just gets up and leaves.
Poor guy can't find any peace.
Yeah, he can't go anywhere. I do just like that they're bringing back, Rosalind Shaw, Keiko, just every few episodes, just this is a character, don't forget about this. I feel like that's that Ron Moore, Jerry Taylor impact, so I like it.
Very surprising, very refreshing, I just love it, especially with the Chief, for them to continue, not even a main plot storyline.
Yeah.
But they realize, we can have this as a tool to... We had a few nice scenes with them before at dinner. Now we can use their relationship as a tool to show what's happening on the ship. Genius.
And the fact that it's literally exactly what I asked for earlier this season in one of our Patreon exclusive discussion segments. When I said it would be cool to just have characters on the Enterprise that are in a relationship and it's not a thing. Or not that it's not a thing, but it's not the plot of the episode, which their wedding was.
Yeah.
But now it's just they're married, that's it. And it's it plays into the episodes, but it's not the problem.
Yes.
And that's awesome. And I literally asked for it, and then it happened within 10 episodes. It's so weird.
We have a pretty.
We watched the show already.
We have a pretty good. We have a pretty good knack for that, for predicting or wishing, and it comes true.
It's because we know what's good.
What else?
I mean, I don't have a ton else to say. I mean, because I don't have any problems, just rewrites. So
yeah, the resolution was a shot, like a lot of the resolutions of episodes, you can say, oh yeah, I can see how they came to that. That makes sense. But this one, it's like, okay, whoa.
Did you not buy it?
It's just like 1 in a million chance, and I get it. The whole idea is that this ship is the best of the best, the top of the top. You know what I mean? That's why the Britain didn't make it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why the show's about them.
That's why the show's about the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And it's been 4 years of this ship, 3 years, and 5 movies so far with the other ship. So it's like best of the best. But it's like the fact that like would it be more of a rewrite? But it's like holy shit! Like what are the odds? You know what I mean? Like scroll. Oh, right there, hydrogen. Yeah. Oh, and it's like. Because they mentioned this Tyker's Rift or something, and it's like they say it's not a Tyker's Rift, but then it basically is a Tyker's Rift. Okay.
No, they did say that that is what it is.
Oh,
it's just there was more going on.
Beverly's like, it's not the Tyker's Rift that's causing this.
Yeah.
But they are in a Tyker.
It's because that creature got stuck in it and was trying to call for help.
Yeah, just like the amazing scientific conclusions that they made. Like, oh, it's a species we never heard of, never seen, and they're calling for help, and they're doing it through a way that kills us. It's like,
yeah, there's definitely a little bit of suspension of disbelief with it. What I really liked about it is that Troy and Data had to work together. Like, it wasn't just Data at the computer and he found it, and it wasn't just Troy in her dream and the creature going, hydrogen! It's like the thing she heard in her dream, she had to tell Data, and then Data helped her formulate the plan where he was like, I don't think a simple message would work. And then like after they find it about the hydrogen, he's like, you just need to tell them now, which we don't get to see her say. She's like, where are you? And then it appears and it goes to Data.
Like if I was Troy in that situation, but where I'm in my dream, no!
Yeah.
No! We understood hydrogen. We're shooting it now.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's like I feel like you have a better chance of it working as opposed to just saying, "Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?"
It was for the tension of the countdown.
Yeah. And then you don't see it.
The classic 5, 4, 3. Yeah.
We see the hydrogen dissipate, so we think, "Oh," I thought that was very effective. Like, oh, I mean, with the runtime,
like we know,
we know, but it's like with the hydrogen dissipating, I'm like, oh, maybe it, and then it blows up. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually liked it too, and I didn't know how I felt right at first, but I do like it because, like, do we believe they're all gonna die? No, but the way Data even says she has failed, and then to not have to show her, and just for it to blow up and you to instantly know, like, oh, she didn't fail. That's what they were trying to do. I really liked it. I really, really liked this episode a lot, and I do have a few rewrites. Are you ready to jump in?
Yeah, really quick. Also, Troy, emotion, can read emotions. Data, no emotions. Dream team. I like that.
Oh, true. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, for sure. I'll let you tackle the Guinan one. But Beverly, how amazing. You kind of called it out, but how amazing in that scene with her in the morgue. If, you're not real, looks down, far away shot of them all laying down. They all just sit up, and she literally just lets out like a blood-curdling scream, and then cut to the next scene. That would have been bone-chilling. Like, that would have been awesome.
Yes. The gun scene with Guinan. Almost great. Almost. Like, how much more effective that scene would have been if she didn't shoot. And they kind of borrowed from Season 3, Episode 2. I can't believe I remember this. With, that was setting 1.
I thought the same thing. It's the same line, but
it's the same line. Yeah, it's like it would have been much more effective and hilarious, and just her holding the gun. It's like, do you want to see? I don't know what the line would be. Like, do you want to see what this can do? Because the last person didn't, or something like.
Fighting. You just hear the gunshot, and then they all turn, and Guinan's standing there with the gun.
Yeah,
could have also been effective. Like, people shoot a gun, and when like a shit's going on,
smoke, a little hole, and it starts to like from Alien or something, it starts like acid, dissolving.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be really cool, but even nothing would have been better.
Yeah, I mean, my ideal choice would be nothing. Just pulling out the gun, witty line, everyone stops fighting. Similar to a Picard feeling Sarek's emotions through the mind meld, similar to, I think it was Naked Time?
Yeah, with Spock breaking down.
With Spock breaking down. Just something or like a little like acknowledgement. Like, I don't know if like the fear's hitting him different. Like all this fear's coming out of him because he's not sleeping. He's like, oh my God, I'm not a Klingon anymore. I lost Kalar. Where's my son? Is my son doing okay? And just like all these like things attack it, because maybe it affects Klingons differently than you. I don't know.
Yeah, I liked it for the way Worf handled it. I do think if it had been what Spock did, or obviously Picard, but like more so Spock, it would have been a lot for Worf. My one rewrite would have been Troy's trying to convince him, and she goes, "Worf, think about Dorf."
And Worf goes, "Who?"
Yeah, I won't do it for Dorf. For Dorf. I find this interesting because this is definitely the most split any poll has been thus far this season for the tier list. So B won out with 30%, but A has 28%. So it was within single votes.
Episode 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then C is right there with 24, 8% S, but 9% D. It's all over the place.
What?
Except for E. So I think this is definitely the most polarized we've seen. This one's from Evan. Most liked comment. Congratulations, Evan. In the grand scope of Star Trek, Troy floating through the dream is hardly the silliest thing we see. But damn if I don't laugh my ass off at, "Where are you?" That is pretty great.
Yeah, effective when first shown, and then after the second or third time, it does get pretty comical. This one's from Steven. Somebody gets a bit corny, and it isn't Miranda Sturges' finest performance, but it has some effectively creepy moments like Beverly in the morgue. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's my favorite scene, but also I think the corniness works for sure, and I wouldn't go as far as to say, like, Evil Dead, like, it's not that level of corny, but I think it works still.
Yeah.
And when I say that about Evil Dead, in a good way, I mean.
Yeah.
This one's from Chris Dorn. Relation to Michael? I gave it an A, mainly because it's a good psychological horror episode. The tone of the music was perfect. And another episode where Data wasn't affected and led the crew to a conclusion. He put in a reply to himself here. Also, Troy's quote about admitting fear gives strength is something I use every time I deal with something stressful. That's awesome, and I agree with all of that. Especially the music being perfect. We talked about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
A lot of people in the early seasons when we were complimenting the music so much, a lot of people were like, "Oh, enjoy it in these first couple seasons, Ron Jones gets fired and then the music's terrible for the rest of the show." I'm sure maybe it happens eventually. I think Ron Jones is gone at this point, but like I'm still waiting. Like the score of this season has been amazing in a lot of episodes. So I don't know if he did this one or if he's gone already, but
This one's from Ryan. I hope you guys vibe with this episode. It's the perfect time for something spooky. This disturbed me as a kid, but now I really like this episode. Such a unique premise, creepy atmosphere, and memorable score, and we get the dynamic duo of Data and Troy solving the problem again. Hey, I said that. Yes, Troy's nightmare scenes are a little cringy, but it's not real life, so I can let that slide. Overall, an episode that sticks with me, and perhaps you guys as well. A grade.
absolutely.
I agree with all that.
It's definitely also the perfect time. Obviously, for the episode being October, that's just brilliant timing by us yet again. Totally something we had knowledge and control of. But no, for real. I mean, we're obviously horror fans. Horror Gallery is going to go all year round, so we would have loved this at any time of year. But it being in October does make it a little bit extra special.
Oh yeah, just lightning in a bottle. Just perfect timing. Perfect. And it's like right from that hook, I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Wild Hunt, 1973, I enjoyed this episode. It was moody, creepy, and a perfect episode to watch in October. What more could you ask for? Yeah, October yet again mentioned.
And then below that, Hovette right below, says, shame it was aired in March.
Unfortunate. What were they thinking?
It would have been more fitting if it aired in January.
Yeah, I was thinking in my head, like, when would this have aired? But thinking about how, like, TV shows air, throughout the fall through spring, kind of like a school schedule, I was like, no, this wasn't in October. And I'm like, that is odd. Like, but based on how they made shows back then, they probably wrote this script 3 weeks before making it, so whatever.
Who knows?
And we are reading a lot of people that like it. I am trying to find people that commented about not liking it, but what tends to happen is the people that don't like it just say stuff like here, I'll just read this one here from Yosef. The only D episode of season 4. Like, okay, there's not really, I disagree with you, but there's not much to really expand on there. So a lot of people are just, that don't like it, just say, I don't like it. So I'm trying to find ones that actually have like a, a substantive, like a reason why they don't like it so we can argue with it.
Give me, okay, gave it a D, why? But give me a D reason besides the Troy floating scene. You know what I mean? That's the one everyone seems to be going to here, even with the A ratings. Like, the Troy scene, but why else wouldn't you put it like the B's and C's? Like, did that Troy scene really bring it down for you that much? What else happened that we were like, yeah, it's not for me? This one's from Nolan. TNG does psychological horror, a reaction just in time for spooky season. I do wish Troy's nightmares were scarier, her wandering the empty corridors of the ship in terror rather than floating through green space calling, "Where are you?" And maybe some of the illusions could have been scarier, though I doubt they'd flood the set with a tidal wave of blood pouring out from the turbo lift. Yeah, it's a good point. We should have, yeah, like, I get it. It was just her trying to reach this alien, but could have definitely played with some more horror with Troy's nightmare, especially with this guy so traumatized from what happened. If he enters this guy's mind and sees crazy, some crazy funhouse smoke mirror, whatever, rather than just turn around.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for what it was, I thought it was good, but I mean, yeah, you could always think of,
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't lower the grade for me because what she was doing like made sense. That would have been like an S+, I guess, just like a little more Troy in the mind of some razzled Betazoid could have been fun, but still, that doesn't change.
This one's from John. Prediction. The boys will love this one. You're right, John. You know us so well. The creepy overall vibe gets an A from me. Also, apparently the episode overran massively and had to be severely cut down in the edit. Give me that extended episode. I would love it so much.
Are there any deleted scenes?
Yeah, is that
of this on
available?
YouTube? Can someone link that?
Can someone go back in time and retrieve those if they haven't?
Can I get the 90-minute cut of this episode? That would be wonderful.
I'll also just throw in Ross. I want to hear about the score and how perfectly timed this episode is for the season and channel's new focus. How did TNG do for a light horror theme? I thought it was great, and we've been asking for horror from Star Trek. We know it's not a horror show, but like, back to the Man Trap. It's like, it doesn't have to be straight up horror, but use the Star Trek, but give me those creepy vibes. And some episodes have, but not a lot. Mm-hmm. This one, yeah, right up our alley, I think.
Right up it. All right, this one's from Andy. Maybe against the grain with this take, but this is one of my very, very few skip episodes of Trek. Not sure what it is specifically, but specifically, it just doesn't grab me at all. You gotta tell me why.
Yeah.
I mean, the skip. Really? This is a skip? It's like, and very, very few. It's like, you gotta, like, if you want to be here, you gotta give me a reason. I'm not leaving. It's like,
because even if you hated this one, or you thought it was like goofy as hell, it's like I would, if it was an episode that I hated or thought was goofy as hell, like, wouldn't you rather rewatch like a goofy as hell than a final mission or like something just so like run of the mill? I mean, that's just me personally. I mean, we've gotten into the whole discussion, and some people don't like our take of, we'll take an S or an E over a D, C or D. Not everyone's like that, but for me, it's like, I can't see someone just thinking this episode is fine. Like, I could see them loving it like us or hating it like some people clearly do. But to just be like, oh, I skip it, that surprises me.
Yeah, that doesn't sit right. Yeah, that surprises me.
A case that never sat right with me. Andy's Patron Take. This one's from Jeffrey. I think you'll like it more than me. A few scenes stick out as positives for me, but in general, it is way too convoluted, and the acting was below par for our team. The convoluted, I could see someone taking that as because there's no focus on a single character. There's no real focus at all. It's just a collection of scenes, and like, do these scenes work for you or not to tell the overall story? To me, it did. Yeah. But the acting, I wholly disagree. I thought Miles O'Brien's scenes, Colomini, were excellent. I thought that Beverly was excellent. Oh, no surprise, right? But I thought Beverly was excellent. I thought Picard was excellent. Riker is like one of the low-key performances. His hair's just all messed up, what you pointed out in his bedroom. I thought everyone was great here.
All right, this one's from the Sultan. Finally, okay. One of my most rewatched episodes, one of my top 5 favorite episodes of TNG, and that Wes Craven-esque moment when all the corpses stood up sealed for me. As a 14-year-old, that TNG was going to be one of my all-time favorite shows of all time. Probably read that wrong. Okay. Watching this back in 91 was a revelation, and there's something awesome about how TNG's mystery box and horror-tinged episodes harken back to the influence of shows like The Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits on the genesis of Star Trek as a whole. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And great timing, just kayfabe here. Right before watching this episode, we watched an episode of the 60s Outer Limits for the very first time watching that show, so just funny timing there, too.
Crazy what's going on right now.
I mean, I just got to read. We're reading a lot here, and a lot of them are praising the episode, but I just like, a lot of these I just agree with so much and I want to read, and a lot of people who don't usually comment, so I'm trying to get everybody, but this one's from Angelina. This is probably the first episode I watched and broadcast after the pilot. Until this point, I'd basically watched the first opening minutes of Encounter at Farpoint, hated it, and like a moody teen, went on with my life at college. A friend convinced me to check it out again, and I rewatched it with my parents' VHS collection taped off the TV. I'm pretty sure this is where I became an active diehard TNG fan. I love the out-of-brink phase so much my partner and I used it as shorthand for being too tired to think straight for years, and it ultimately ended up in a song lyric of mine. Absolutely S-tier episode 2. I can rewatch it over and over again. Eyes in the dark, one moon circles. It's a touch corny, but not enough to put me off. Excellent take. Not just because we agree with you, it's part of it, but because, I mean, just all of that info was awesome to hear. So that's great.
Yeah, I love all of that, but back to the beginning. So you watched Encounter at Farpoint, hated it, and then you went away, and then like the first episode you watched was this episode, and that's what brought you back. You didn't watch Encounter at Farpoint again. You watched
this one on VHS.
On VHS. After not like 3-4 years away, and then this episode can bring someone back in. Hell yeah. This one's from Timothy. Yeah, this one is a D for me. The morgue scene is fantastically creepy, and I do like Picard talking to Data about his fear of losing his mental faculties like his grandfather. That scene hit heavy for me because I watched the exact same thing happen to my grandfather. Strongest, go American, great guy, and then all of a sudden he's like, dying in a hospital bed. So that hit hard for me. But now I have to read why he doesn't fucking like the episode. But watching Marina Sirtis get a wedgie from all the wire work while shouting, "Where are you?" into the void just doesn't do it for me. There are episodes that incorporate horror far better than this. Well, hopefully we haven't seen those yet because I'd love to see them. But it really brings it down to a D for you. I mean, the first two things you talked about here made it sound like you like it. And then you mentioned one thing that you don't like.
And it's the scene that everyone's bringing up.
I mean,
I get it. I mean,
granted, we're not going to read it if it's going to be too long. But it's like, I don't know, if you didn't like the wharf scene, if you didn't like the bar scene, it's like, was Maria Sirtis in space really that bad that everyone's like, ah?
Yeah. Just to echo that, Ian Westcott here says, leaning between, or deciding between B and C, leaning C, there are great moments, but the Troy floating, listening to cryptic aliens part really drags it down. And it's like, was that my favorite part? No, but it's like, I don't know. It's just like it didn't, I don't know. It's like, if you cut out that one scene of the episode and watch the rest, and you liked the episode, like, does it really drag it down? That much? Like, I'm trying to think of any other episode where I've had that reaction of like, wow, I really like it, but this one scene ruined it. I'm trying to think, because I'm sure there is one for me, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Showdown! Yeah, that's yours.
Another TNG episode, now in the books. Did TA hate it, or did they get hooked? Will they ever get it? We may never know. TNG season 4, let's go! Warp speed, engage, warp speed, engage, warp speed, engage, warp speed, let's go! Talking over dialogue, laughing at odd times. You may get bothered, but TA feels sublime. They tear into your favorites, they love ones you hate. Yet you can't get enough of the reactions they make. They pop for big moments and make clever jabs. One half of the scene they will always yap. They've been at this for years with many more to come. Join this journey, set your phaser to stun. Warp speed, engage, warp speed, engage, warp speed, engage, warp speed, let's go, let's go. Josh and Alex lost in thought, missing scenes they should have caught, laughing loud as plots unfold. In this journey, brave and bold, exposition missed yet still they shine. The sarcastic charm you can't decline, guided by stars their paths align. Josh and Alex in cosmic time. Once made, engage, engage. Once made, engage, engage. Once made, engage, engage. Once made, let's go.
Yeah, but I've always wondered with REM sleep, because they always say like, oh, when you go to sleep, you know, after your first like 90 minutes to 2 hours, you enter REM sleep, and that's when you dream. But then I always wonder why sometimes will you like fall asleep to go take a nap and instantly start dreaming before you're even like really asleep. Like, you ever had that happen where you're just kind of like laying down going to sleep and you already start to dream and then wake up? Like, how do you enter REM sleep that quickly? I haven't looked into it. I don't know. Someone smarter than me could tell me, but I've always found that odd.
I don't dream that often. Most of the time I fall asleep and I just instantly like wake up. It's like I don't even get a dream to hold me over.
I think you need to take one of those sleep tests. You know, they do that.
Oh, but they hook up all that shit to you. I wouldn't even be able to fall asleep.
Oh, they'll make you. They'll give you something. They put you to sleep.
Well, I don't know if it's a mutual friend, but Vincent, remember Vincent, workout guy, wrestler, Vince? I don't know if I should say it. Should I say his name?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's he was saying like, oh yeah, I went to go to sleep test once, and they put all the sleep on me, and I couldn't fall asleep. Yeah, so I just...
Yeah, I guess if they put you to sleep, it would kind of ruin the point of the sleep test.
Yeah. Yeah, here's some morphine, and here's whatever they give you at the dentist's office. What do they call that?
I know what you're talking about. But the gas to put you to sleep.
The gas. That was one of the most crazy experiences of my life. You ever get
put to sleep? Yeah, when I had my surgery. Yeah.
I was like so excited. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna count down from 10. I'm like, okay. Count down from 10. 10, 9, and then I was out, and I wake up in a different chair, and I'm like, 200 plus pounds. Like, how do they move me?
Oh yeah, dude. Well, probably on a bed, right?
Yeah, but I was like in a chair.
Oh,
and then I wake up in a different chair.
Yeah.
Like I come to like, huh?
Yeah, when I had my surgery, I woke up just like in pain, from it, obviously, from the surgery. And so it wasn't like a major surgery or anything, but like I woke up and was just like instantly crying, but like not in the way of like you cry when you're sad, but just like the crying out, like if you were to break your leg, like crying out in pain. Like I just my first memory is just like, ah, just like screaming as I wake up, and then you hear all the doctors, patients awake, they all come over. Yeah, they all come over. Go back.